Now we are going to examine the halides test. Halides, like carbonates, they have a test to be identified. Halide ions, they produce precipitates whenever they react with silver nitrate solution. So whenever I want to identify if there is a halide in a certain unknown, we add silver nitrate to test whether they carry a halide or not. In this experiment here, we're going to be identifying whether we have a chloride, a bromide, and iodide, and in which tube. First of all, we added the salt that we are going to identify the ion inside. In the 3 tubes, we added the salts that are dissolved in dilute nitric acid in the 3 tested tubes. And we are going to add the silver nitrate solution on top of each tube one by one. Let's start out with the first test tube. When we're gonna add the silver nitrate in the tested tube, in the first one, we're gonna observe something. We observe now a white precipitate in the first tested tube, a cream precipitate in the second tested tube, and a pale yellow color precipitate in the third tube. What do these colors of precipitates mean? In the first tested tube, where there was a white precipitate that was formed, indicates that there is a chloride ion in this tube. So tested tube number 1 carries the Cl ion, the chloride ion. In the second tested tube, we observed a cream precipitate. This indicates a bromide ion. And in the last tested tube, we observed a pale yellow precipitate, and this indicates an iodide ion. This is how we identify halides whenever we use the silver nitrate solution. Let's observe another test for halide. We're gonna run again the experiment with silver nitrate. Here in the middle we have the tested tube that we are suspecting to have a halide inside. If it was positive and there is a halide, you will observe white for chloride, cream for bromide, and pale yellow for iodide. If it didn't carry any halide, it will not give any precipitate. We can test for halides with a reaction with sulfuric acid. If the tube was carrying out a halide, you will expect to see a positive test with releasing fumes. If it didn't release fumes, then it means it doesn't carry halides. So this tube carries fumes, it means this solution carries halides. These tubes again are carrying out the colors of precipitates formed with silver nitrate that belongs to chloride, bromide, and iodide.